or we wasn't getting hit with pepper spray and tear gas during the Biden administration. These people are attacking American citizens.
This is for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Hello, and welcome to the Think Tank, where we use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, and just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased and logical conclusions. We're here today to talk about Trump threatening to use the Insurrection Act and what that means. I represent the opposition to Trump levying such threats, and I'm here with my co-host Dion Powell, who supports MAGA, ICE, and all of the regime's agenda. If you like balanced news where you get both sides so that you can draw your own logical conclusions and use your critical thinking skills, this is your spot. Click that subscribe button, and with no further ado, allow me to introduce my co-host, Dion.
Hey, family, I'm District Leader Dion Powell of the Bronx Conservative Party. I'm a strategist, consultant, and community organizer. So hopefully give you the perspective of America first, or America only side of MAGA.
All right, let's get into it. So, Trump is threatening to use the Insurrection Act. What does that mean? Hey, everybody, this is your boy Leo. You know me. I've been doing commercials for 15 years, television commercials, radio ads, billboards. Now, I'm trying to step it into the big leagues. I want to be an independent filmmaker. I've got the degrees, I've got the experience, and I need your help to make my first independent film, Garot. So Garot is Boys in the Hood meets Clue. So these dudes from Brooklyn is trying to buy their drugs to supply the hood. So they go to the mafia stronghold and they purchase their drugs, but one of them turns up dead. And now there's a race to find out who did it. The Godfather's going to send in his hit squad, Squadra Assassina, to take them out. They don't figure out who did it because somebody died on his turf and he's not happy and he can't have stuff like that happening in his business. So please, if you want to show support, my Kickstarter campaign is down in the description box. Well, it means he can send in police forces, military, actual military, Army, Marines, into your city. That's what the Insurrection Act literally means. And then he would be able to use those troops to control what's going on. Let's suppose he doesn't want a midterm election. There's troops in the city. He can shut down the city. It's almost like martial law. He can send in the military and control what's happening. I do not understand what he's looking at that would cause that, except for the fact that the military that he already has there, we only call them police because they're paramilitary, but they're not military, even though they use military grade equipment and they dress like Nazis, literally. But we'll check out the uniforms on another episode and do the comparison, and you can see they literally wear Nazi uniforms. That he's using these police to terrify people, that they're harassing American citizens, talking about going door to door and just knocking on people's door in military uniforms to question people without warrants. And now he's talking about the Insurrection Act, where he's going to send in armed Army and Marines to support this paramilitary group that many on the left call the Gestapo for obvious reasons, or obvious to anybody who studied history. This is a terrorizing time. This is a terrible, scary time where terror is being used, in my opinion. I would like to hear MAGA's thoughts on the fact that he wants to send in the actual military to American streets and why he might want to do so. Dion, please.
Well, that's because ICE is being attacked at this point by people in Minnesota. The one instance that I see here that the media is reporting on is when ICE was attacked by a man with a shovel, when ICE had to also pop that guy as well. So you see, if you're going to talk about insurrection, the people might be triggered to recall January 6th and how they killed officers and all these wonderful things, allegedly. So now it's the same instance. This is a form of insurrection when you are attacking federal officers on federal property, on state property, on municipal property, etc. And that's why we're where we're at, in my opinion.
Okay, so how did we get here? Why is ICE terrorizing people to the
Just told
point
you.
where they're defending themselves? And we can
Not
say that
defending
we can
themselves.
say that they're defending themselves
They're being
because it's been
aggressive, Leon.
ruled
They're not
because it's
defending
been
themselves at this point.
because it's been ruled in the courts that
No.
these ICE people are attacking innocent American citizens with military grade weapons like pepper spray and tear gas. So how did we get to the point where Trump's Gestapo is attacking American citizens with military grade weapons, shooting people point blank in the face, and now these people are fighting back, which is what I told you would happen. I love to say I told you so. I told you so. That Trump was doing this because he wanted to do the Insurrection Act. I told you this back in like what? September, October? And that he was going to start floating the Insurrection Act. Did that not say this? Is this not another check mark?
Well, I think you said martial law, but yes, here we are.
No, I literally said the Insurrection Act. I looked it up, put it on the screen, defined it.
That's why we got to, in the future, do episodes where we actually go back in time.
Maybe. Why do you think Trump is floating the Insurrection Act, and do you think it will be lawful for him to do?
Yes, I'll start by the end and go backwards. Yes, it is lawful for him to do. And the reason why he wants to do this, number one, he likes to build up and stir the pot with some of these language. Again, like I said in previous episodes, to stoke emotions out there, especially amongst all his haters, keep talking about them. Maybe it's pre-predicted programming on his part for when he does do it. But yes,
I agree. I agree.
there's certain entities out there that would love to see him do this so they could just pump more money into peaceful protesting, the industry that has become. So yes, as long as people are getting more aggressive, more boldened to actually attack ICE and other federal officers, President Trump has the right to use this because everybody said January 6th was an insurrection and so many officers died and got killed by those protesters and those rioters. So
If he invokes the Insurrection Act, is there a world where you can see that maybe this would prevent him from having elections during the midterm in these areas, in these blue states, where he's sending all of these troops?
no, because
So
these
you don't see the
people,
obvious.
it's not.
Yeah, you might want to clear your glasses because you're not seeing it. It's obvious. This is like
It's obvious. It's
ridiculous.
obvious. Yeah, it's obvious. Donald Trump. That Donald Trump is obvious. Yeah, keep trying to program me. That's not gonna work. Those other people out there, that's not even working with them anymore, unfortunately, because they're not
Right.
taking it seriously at
That's why
all.
he's so underwater in the polls.
Well, again, people don't like the way that sausage is made because the media puts it on loop. But we know Tom Homan was given the award by President Barack Obama for taking the same drastic immigrant
No
action.
one's ever had American cities under siege before. This is a first. This is not trying like you're like, oh, he was given an award for this. He wasn't given an award for this. This has never happened in the history of this country. So
Yes,
that's a
it
lie.
does. It's called the COVID-19 lockdowns. And when you had to have a COVID,
Even during the COVID-19 lockdowns, you didn't have what looked like war in the streets.
that's because these people fell for it under the blue team. But under President Trump, they hate him so much that could never
Or
happen.
we wasn't getting hit with pepper spray and tear gas during the Biden administration. These people are attacking American citizens. So much that a federal judge had to grant that the judge didn't say you can't attack, you can't defend yourself. It said you can't attack peaceful protesters. That language means that there are people that are not committing any crimes being attacked. That's what the language means. Otherwise, if they're being attacked, they are allowed to defend themselves. So with that language being very clear, they're attacking people. This is stroking the entire situation, the fire, so that he can declare an insurrection act, declare an insurrection, put into place the Insurrection Act, and put military in our cities. And then we're like, I don't know, 1944, Nazi Germany. Am I got the year right?
No matter how much you try to stoke the fire of fear, we already seen how the judges react to Trump putting the military in these cities. The judges, the courts are saying no.
If the Insurrection Act is declared, then he can legally do it. He can get around what you're talking about, which is the Posse Comitatus Act, which doesn't allow him to do it. The Posse Comitatus Act has certain exceptions. Now, I'm not a legal expert, but if I recall correctly, the two exceptions are if Congress declares it an emergency, he's able to use troops, and under the Insurrection Act, he can send troops.
Well, that's why he's stirring the pot. He's going, him and his legal team and his political action team are going through all the Constitution, Federalist Papers, and beyond to find all the rights of the executive branch. But again, one thing I will say is
So what you're saying is he's purposely setting it up to send in troops, because that's what you just said, stirring the pot so that he can do this. Is that what your intent was to say, or was that just an accident based on, I don't know?
well, he's stirring the pot. He's letting the public know his rights as the president and his discretion therein as the commander in chief. So yes, President Trump can possibly do this if these peaceful protesters persist in attacking ICE agents and other law enforcement and destroying property, etc. And running into churches too, by the way, Don Lemon.
So you're in support of Trump sending troops into American cities?
Yes. And actually, I will also add that some of those black residents are happy when it happens as well, because crime goes down and their children can play in parks like a
I don't think they can play in parks with tear gas going off and pepper spray going on. I think that might be something that you don't quite understand, honestly. Like, I really think you don't get it. What you're saying is like wild.
It's not
Like, that's really, really crazy.
Because I support President Trump and I see how it works. And on this side, we're getting information.
You haven't seen how it works because it hasn't worked. You're seeing how he's saying it's going to work. You're seeing how you imagine it working. But what the actuality is, it's a war crime. It's a war on the ground. Nothing has worked. Right now, there's a war on the ground. You're saying, well, at the end, it'll be this. But you haven't seen what happened because it didn't happen. The only thing happening is a war on the ground. That's what it is. The actuality is what's happening is there's a war on the ground. And you're like, oh, when this is all over, we are going to have either we're going to have an insurrection for real, or we're going to get Trump out, or the third possibility, we're going to have a king. But the actuality of what happened is there's a war going on in America right now between the feds and the local states, which is something the Republicans are supposed to be against. You know, we're small government. Well, this government has a ballooned fiscal statement supporting a big paramilitary police force to terrorize American citizens. This is exactly what the Republicans were supposed to be against. Just for the record.
Okay. Well, I guess that we are the media, and now so are you for a reason. That's why I don't pay attention to the left-leaning media. I pay attention to the media on the right and independent media. That way I'm not so emotionally compromised and scared. So make sure the algorithm pays attention by sharing us.
Right. Even though we're not quite on the right, we're just calling it down the middle. You're getting both because I pay attention to everything. Because if you listen to one side, you can get programmed. And I know that from on either side. And if you don't believe that you can get programmed from either side, then you're perfect for this think tank because that means I can get the propaganda from the right and balance it out. So I thank you for coming and sharing the right side, the conservative Republican side, because it gives us the ability to utilize that and critically diagnose what's really happening. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. This is Leon Dion signing out.